Thanks for staying with us. The state's largest police union admits drawing a hard line on reforming police hasn't helped anyone. If anything, they say it has hurt. And that's why the Wisconsin Professional Police Association rolled out what it's calling a blueprint for change. 24 recommendations, from a near ban on chokeholds to more reports to hold officers accountable and harsher punishment for people who damage things during protests. Our Madeline O'Neill learned more about the plan and got Madison's perspective on the overall goal of improving how police operate. Maddie?
Right. Well, the WPPA wants the state's new task force to consider these recommendations and turn many of them into law. We couldn't find a local police department to talk with today, but Madison's mayor says she's committed to using this time for change.
In the last week or so, we've seen, the public discourse surrounding policing become so much more polarizing.
So Jim Palmer, executive director of the Wisconsin Professional Police Association, says now is the time to try and meet in the middle.
People can support the cause for social justice and at the same time acknowledge that officers have a very difficult job and we want to support them.
The association's blueprint for change includes proposals requiring statewide expectations for de-escalation training and use of force, expanding community policing, and studying ways to reduce what calls police actually get sent on, such as relying more on mental health professionals. The blueprint also encourages paying for more body cameras statewide, even though some protesters say those don't actually hold police accountable.
To the extent we can have that information and that evidence to demonstrate either wrongdoing or appropriate action on the part of law enforcement officers is fundamentally important to how we move forward collectively.
The city of Madison has a committee looking into the feasibility of body cams, just one of many options Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway says is on the table when looking at police reform and reimagining what public safety means in the city.
Are there other types of calls for service that really don't belong with the police department, that really belong with some other response?
Rhodes-Conway couldn't comment specifically on the WPPA's proposals, but notes with the division in her community, it's more important than ever to listen and show empathy.
That out of that will come the solutions that we need, and we'll be able to start to repair the trust that's been broken and start to combat some of the fear that people are feeling.
The mayor says she's focused on closing the racial gap when it comes to wealth and affordable housing. The city is working with the county on ways to implement a crisis intervention team to respond to behavioral health calls.